Hello everyone, my name is Kimberly and this is my persuasive speech, Going Green, Starting Young. So, what exactly does this mean? I believe that K-12 education system should have required courses on climate change and global warming. And why is that? So, how exactly do you look at a child and tell them your world is dying? I believe that children should be taught about what climate change is, what global warming is, and to be prepared for it so they don't feel a sense of fear. And they should be aware of what they can do to reduce their carbon footprint and to help aid the world. Climate change affects us all, will affect our children's futures, will affect even our children's future. Starting from the bottom and working our way up is the way to go. So, what is this speech going to entail? It will talk about how climate change education assists in shaping the future, how it promotes eco-consciousness in the youth, and how it promotes generational sharing of knowledge between children and their parents. So, how exactly does climate change education assist in shaping our future? Education creates future environmentalists and instills civic responsibility in children. The Journal of Environmental Psychology states, young people can be agents of sustainable change. To this end, environmental education programs aim to promote their environmental knowledge, attitudes, intentions, and behaviors. What exactly does this mean? This means that teaching children about what climate change is in the first place, so that they have the idea that this is a problem, will help them have the sense to do something about it, to be the change, to work towards something that will help us in the future. Educating children on climate change may shape them to find solutions to it. The Harvard School of Education magazine states, when an issue is so urgent, it can be challenging to take the long view that an education requires, but we must. We owe it to the future generation to help them develop sustainable ways to live in the world. So, what is this trying to say? What is this trying to tell us? This is trying to tell us that we owe it to our children and to their children's children and to the entire future the tools to help aid them and to mitigate the warming of our planet. So, what other values does climate change education have? So, how does our climate change education teach the youth eco-consciousness? Teaching children how to be sustainable will aid our society. So, how will it? Harvard Graduate School of Education shares there is an educational imperative to help students understand climate change as one of the many challenges that humanity will experience, but to do it in a way that gives people hope and cultivates the agency and knowledge to understand what is a green economy and to be contributors to a transition to a more sustainable way of living. So, when this quote mentions that it helps them understand climate change and the changes that humanity will experience without making them feel a sense of despair, teaching children that a small change, a small difference makes an impact regardless of what it is, even if it's just throwing your trash away and just using less electricity. Small little changes make a difference and will help them feel a sense of less hopelessness and that they are making a difference. By going off of this, making children feel as though they're doing good by the world by being environmentally friendly is beneficial to our society. And why is this? The International Journal of Environmental and Science Education states children should be properly informed about actions that help reduce carbon emissions, as this may give them a sense of empowerment and alleviating concerns. That last bit about alleviating concerns is that studies show that children feel a sense of stress and anxiety involving global warming, and it makes them feel as though that nothing they do will ever change the fact that our world is slowly dying. Teaching children that what they do and their actions can make a difference is the reason why climate change education is so beneficial and important to our society. Initiating a change has to start somewhere, so why not the youth? Teaching children about climate change will lead to our generational sharing of knowledge. What exactly does this mean? This basically means that teaching the children first will eventually lead them to go home and teach their parents these habits and knowledge about climate change and what they can do to mitigate the warming of our planet. So, children are able to influence their parents. The Nature Climate Change Journal states, because climate change perception in children seems less susceptible to the influence of worldview or political context, it may be possible for them to inspire adults towards higher levels of climate concern and, in turn, collective action. So, what does this mean? So, this is basically saying that children are so innocent that they don't understand political agenda, because currently in our society, being conscious and being an advocate for global warming and climate change is viewed as a liberal agenda. Therefore, teaching children about these ideologies and ideas with the clear mind of not having a political bias will aid them in being more susceptible to this information, and in turn they will go home and teach their parents about these concerns and how to be a better person to society and just be green. The youth understands the importance of climate change education. What exactly does this mean? Columbia Climate School states, young people recognize that climate change is going to shape their futures, where they live, they work, and will do, and their quality of life. They need climate change education in order to develop green skills, adapt to the harsh reality of warming world, and understand how to combat climate change. So what does this mean? This means that children are in need of this education. They need this education to understand the world they are in and the consequences of their actions, in the sense that people need to be more aware of how littering and how overusage of water and things like that affect our world. Helping children understand that doing their part in society will benefit us all is so important. Climate change will affect our futures, so the change needs to happen now, and we need to do something, which is why I think this topic is so important about educating our youth and keeping them aware of all of these changes. So, in conclusion, educating the youth on climate change encourages change, encourage habit changes. The youth being aware of how they can play a role in mitigating climate change benefits society. It helps us all by making them aware of what they can do to help in any shape or form. And then finally, adults are influenced by their children, and this can be implemented as well as when considering climate change. Because children just have such an influence on their parents because of their habits. Parents will pick up on them. Parents will listen to what their children are saying to them. All of these reasons are just a few of the benefits that implementing a required course of climate change will bring to our society. Climate change is a very scary topic, and it does make us all feel a sense of hopelessness. However, if we work together, we can all make a change and make a difference. That is the end of my speech. Thank you so much for listening.